Hey folks, welcome back to Talking Wolves and welcome back to a brand new match preview on the channel. We're looking at Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Chelsea. As it stands, it's going to be going ahead this Sunday, which is the 19th of December. I hope you guys are keeping well and safe, of course. Times are getting a little bit more difficult again, so please look after yourselves, guys, especially going up to that Christmas period. And as always, be sure to hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and let me know your thoughts ahead of this game against Chelsea. Look, a great win for Wolves during the week against Brighton, away from home. I've just about recovered. It was a bang-on 5-hour journey there. I don't think I got into my bed until about 3:30, 4:45 on early hours of Thursday morning. But in the end, it was worth it to see Wolves grab 3 points. Although not a classic, Wolves did create opportunities and of course got the 3 points, which during this very difficult month of December is always crucial. We've played Liverpool, we've played City, we're playing Chelsea of course on Sunday. So these games that are sprinkled in between, such as this game, the game against Brighton, the game against Watford that could potentially be happening on Boxing Day. They're the games we definitely need to be getting the points from. But I say that at the moment as Chelsea are in a little bit of a difficult time themselves. They're looking a bit fragile at the moment. They've got a few players out either injured or with COVID, unfortunately. But we saw them yesterday. They had a 1-1 draw against Everton, a very, in my opinion, weak Everton side. But you could say Jordan Pickford did keep them in the game, especially when you look at the numbers and the stats from that match. Of course, we'll have the Chelsea perspective in a little while as well. But we look ahead towards the Wolves team. Bruno Lage has confirmed today that unfortunately 2 Wolves players have suspectedly got COVID-19. I say that because Bruno said they've tested positive, but they're waiting for a second test, which I'd assume they've tested positive on a lateral flow and they're going to be getting a PCR. So those players are Fabio Silva and Gerson Mosquera. Of course, Mosquera is injured anyway. Fabio Silva is at the moment a fringe player, so hopefully they do get into isolation, they recover from that safe and sound, and it doesn't spread too viciously around the Wolves squad. As I speak at the moment, it's just prior to 5:30 on Friday, the 17th. The game is going ahead. The Premier League, there have been plenty of rumours whether the Premier League are going to create some sort of stopgap over the Christmas period, but 5 games already have been postponed for this weekend. So that's half of the matchups for this weekend in the Premier League have been postponed, plus many from the Football League as well. So Wolves are one of those teams that at the moment, you could say fortunately, do still have their game running. I think the Premier League have made it pretty clear that they want to try and, whilst safe and whilst possible, try and get all these games done as safely as they can if they are possible. And I think managers at the moment, it's a bit 50-50 split. I believe they're going into a meeting next Monday to discuss it. But Bruno Lage, I believe, thinks that Premier League games, if they're okay to continue, should be played. And look, long term for Wolves, it could help with, obviously, fixture congestion and so on. You know, there are many teams, probably mainly Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United probably closely second now, where they're going to have a real backlog of fixtures alongside their European fixtures, alongside their cup fixtures as well. So long term for Wolves, this could benefit us. I wasn't fully opposed to just having these fixtures off this weekend and almost giving us over a week to, you know, look after ourselves until Boxing Day. But the Premier League obviously want to be continuing with these fixtures right now. So the 2 players for Wolves short term that have got COVID, unfortunately, are Fabio Silva and Gerson Mosquera. Obviously, Pedro Neto isn't back. Johnny Otto isn't back. Raul Jimenez is back from suspension, so hopefully he'll be fresh and fit for this game. So let's jump into my predicted lineup. 2 injuries as well, sorry, that I haven't mentioned. Possibly Ryan Aït-Nouri, who got injured in the warm-up against Brighton. I believe it was a groin injury. And Hwang Hee-chan as well. Bruno was very tight-lipped on those. That could be 2 things. 1, they could be serious and they're waiting for some scans. Or 2, he could just be playing his cards very close to his chest ahead of this game against Chelsea. So my predicted lineup anyway for this game. Jose Sarr has got to start in goal. Once again, phenomenal season for him so far, and long may it continue. Another clean sheet on Wednesday against Brighton. Back five, I probably suspect Marcel will come in and stay in after his start and performance against Brighton. So we'll go Marcel at left back. Right back, I've gone with Nelson Semedo once again, and an unchanged back three. The match winner from Wednesday remains Sace. Connor Cody and Max Kilman, a phenomenal back three they've been so far this season. The midfield two, Neves and Matinho, I think will both phenomenal, and I suspect to see them again. We may well see Dendon could come in, but just to freshen it up, but I think those two should definitely start. And then the wingers, let's assume Hwang is out. I would personally start with Daniel Pedence, Raul Jimenez, and Adama Traore. Wasn't overly convinced by Francisco Trincao again on Wednesday. There were spells in the game, but again, not fully convinced. And I think Pedence and Adama can contribute a lot more to Wolves up against Chelsea. But let's jump into the Chelsea perspective now. I spoke to Lewis, who's a big Chelsea fan and content creator, about the game against Chelsea on Sunday at Molineux. So then for the Chelsea perspective, I've got Lewis from the Carefree Lewis G channel and part of Chelsea Fan TV as well. Lewis, thanks for jumping on. How you keeping, man?
I'm good. The football is something else, but yeah, as a person, we're all good. We're all calm. I hope you're all doing as well. I hope you're doing well as well, bro.
Yeah, all good, man. I really appreciate you jumping on. Obviously, Chelsea only sort of played last night, so quite a quick turnaround-ish for this game, obviously with what's going on at the moment as well. Let's start off with the big issue, that is COVID. Chelsea have sort of been hit fairly hard by it, alongside other issues at the moment. How, with you as a fan, how are you finding Chelsea the last couple of weeks or so, how they're playing?
Virus or not, like, doesn't really change anything. It just means our depth gets worse and worse. But it's like the players that are out anyway haven't really made that much of a difference. Like, it's all attackers. You got Hudson-Odoi, Havertz, Werner, and Lukaku are all out with the virus right now. But none of them were really firing for us anyway. Like Lukaku, I still say was a fine transfer. It's just it came too late. So he hasn't really fitted with the squad tactically enough. So that's his own personal problem. Timo Werner, like the memes speak for itself. Absolute stormtrooper of the highest quality. So we ain't missing anything with him. Hudson-Odoi, I'll allow him because he's young. He's had barely any experience in the first team squad. He's the only Cobham graduate that we have in the team that hasn't gone out on loan. So he lacks composure. He lacks end product. He does make chances, though, so I allow him on that because I know it will come with time. He hasn't had the experience left right now to improve in those aspects. That will come with game time and extra game experience. Kai Havertz, he's the best out a lot in terms of it because even if he isn't contributing in terms of goals and assists, at the least his movement, his hold-up play, his link-up play is good enough. And he helps the team flow, and his build-up play helps us to at least flow in terms of passing lanes and everything like that. So he's the only one that we would miss right now. But it hasn't really changed anything. Like, we're still poor in terms of build-up play since Ben Chilwell's been injured. Injuries have killed our attack, and our midfielders been overplayed to death. Like, it's been Jorginho and Loftus-Cheek the last 5 weeks, and Ruben, he's just a depth player if we're being real about it. Like, he's exciting when he's on form, amazing dribbler, but it's also kind of his weakness because all he ever does is just keep his head down, and his end product just isn't there either. So we've been struggling on that front as well. Build-up play hasn't been good enough. We can make chances, outright chances, but we don't lack the edge to finish them. And it's just been a case of it's the same problems ever since Ben Chilwell's gone. We haven't been able to keep a clean sheet. We haven't been cohesive since then. It's been a massive struggle in terms of trying to keep track of Liverpool and Man City. They're just peeling away from us as the games continue to progress. And it's only getting harder for us, but can't really complain too much in the position that we're in, even though the football's been atrocious the last few weeks. It's been so poor.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've looked at the table and you're still sort of in and around there. You have dropped a third, but still within touching distance of City and Chelsea and miles ahead of fourth place. But I'd bet games against Burnley, against Everton, when you're dropping points for you guys as obviously European champions, but obviously a team that want to be title contenders as well, they're frustrating. The game against Everton, what was the reason? Why did Chelsea not win that game? And in my opinion, against a pretty weak Everton side as well.
Did you watch any of the Chelsea Everton game?
I didn't watch it, to be fair. I've seen the stats, and it looks like you battered him.
They had
But
one shot.
uh,
One shot. I missed the birthday party for that travesty. I can't be bothered with it, man. But it's literally everything we said. First 20. This is the thing with Chelsea, and Tuchel has complained about the complacency of the squad. And ever since he said it, it's been right there for everybody to see. We are a first 20 minutes sort of team. If we will batter you in the first 20 minutes, but if we don't take our chances, we peter out. And we already said Chelsea are not clinical. We had 25 shots against Everton, the same amount against Burnley, a similar amount against Man United, and we got 1 goal in each game. That's our last 3 home league games, about 70 shots and 3 goals. It's horrific. Horrific. And that's what the problem was is. We can make chances, but if we don't put it in early, build-up play starts to deteriorate, we start creating less chances, and the opposition starts to get more confident. That's exactly what happened against Everton. We did not take our chances. Then in the second half, one of them goes into the back of the net because one of them has to. Like, the amount of chances that you're making, one of them's got to go into the back of the net. And then 4 minutes later, they equalise. Because like Tuchel said, we are a complacent team. As soon as we get the lead, we start to rest on our laurels. We get too confident. And then silly set piece gets given away. And then I don't even know the name of the guy who scored.
Brantway, is it? I think, yeah.
Yes, Braithwaite or whatever his name is. Someone scored. Everton youth player bagged his first goal for the club. Like, fair play to him and everything. You do your job. And for an Everton side that was that inexperienced, they hung on well. I will say, I want to give him credit, but the first 20 minutes, we should have been at least 3 or 4 goals up, but we are not clinical. We gave them a route back into the game. And thank God it wasn't Everton's A team either, because their tactics were literally just sit deep and transition, hit us on the break. But whenever they had the ball, you could see the inexperience in those players. They got the ball and they froze, or the touch wouldn't be good enough. They kill their own counterattacks during the counterattack because they just don't have the quality of the experience in that team. But they still got themselves into those good positions. Thank God Iwobi was trash because he completely missed their striker in an amazing position. If they had their A team, they would have wiped the floor with us. And then we'd be here talking about a loss to Benitez's Everton side, who have been in horrendous form this season. And this is where we have been at over the last 2 games. We're not good enough. Not good enough at all.
So are Chelsea fans a bit cautious and nervous? I mean, you said to me off camera beforehand, as it stands, the game's going ahead. But do a lot of the Chelsea fans sort of part of you hope or wanted this season to sort of, or this weekend at least, to be sort of talked off so you can regroup?
Yes, lockdown immediately. Please, sooner the better. I mean it. Because after you lot and Aston Villa, it's Brighton at home, which I don't even know what we'll see against that in that sort of game. And then it's Liverpool, City, and Spurs. So, yeah. And Mendy's off for about 1 or 2 of them with the African Cup of Nations. So then you had Kepa tax on top of it. Just lockdown, please. Couldn't come sooner. Sooner.
Obviously, you said Lukaku and Werner obviously out as well. So who have you guys got as your sort of striker at the moment, or trying to play as a striker?
Right now, we've gone for Pulisic in the middle, and it's not really working. It's just a ghost, really, if we're being honest. He drops deep, collects the ball, fair play, but then he just draws fouls. That's it. It's good for getting set pieces and everything, but there's no end product. Absolutely no end product. It's the same all around the attack, though, so I can't just pinpoint him. Mount's got better in terms of his end product, but he had the best chance of the game in the first half, literally in front of Pickford, and he still shot straight at him. Ziyech, he's good in phases of the game, but I'd never see a solid 90 minutes out of him. Werner already said Stormtrooper. Lukaku doesn't fit the system right now. Kai Havertz needs to get a bit more physical, but I'm seeing it in his game. But his finishing as well, he places everything. Like, you know those guys in FIFA who just do finesse shots all the time? That's all he is, like tapped finesse shots. That's it. And it goes straight to the goalkeeper. And he needs to put his boot through them a lot more. There's a problem with our whole attack. There's little issues with every single one of them. Our best right now is Cho and Mount, who are great players, but would I say they should be our best attackers right now? No, they shouldn't. It should be one of our front forwards, and they're not. We're surviving off Mount and we're surviving off defenders and wing backs. It's not good enough.
Yeah, I know. Wolves played a very similar way, sort of without a striker on Wednesday. And you could tell that we had three wide players basically across the three. And although we won the game, it was off a set piece. We had 2 or 3 clear-cut chances where you do wonder if it was someone like Raul Jimenez, we could have won the game 2 or 3 or 4-0. You know, we had those chances. And when you have got to play players such as Pulisic or whatever through the middle, I think that's gonna happen. But from the team or ahead of the team that should start Sunday, who are the, I mean, you've mentioned 2 or 3 there. Who are the danger men? Who have been Chelsea's best players so far this season?
Mason Mount speaks for itself. I think he's our top goal scorer in the league right now.
He scored a great goal against us a couple of years ago as well, free kick. I think it was last game of the season.
To get fourth place. That was crucial for us with what happened.
We bottled Europe because of that. We would have had Europa if we'd got something out of that game. And in the end, Spurs.
Yeah, because you lot at that period also would have been one of the favourites of the tournament.
Yeah,
we had a very strong team under Nuno in those years.
We were in the Europa League still, and it was during lockdown, so we went into lockdown 5th, a couple of points behind 4th, and after lockdown, we just with no fans, we just deteriorated.
Yeah, you see, lockdown changes a lot of aspects in the Premier League, so I understand that. That would have been rough for you guys as well. If it's not Mason Mount, who just Thiago Silva, like it's a faultless performance from every single time. You can't ask for anything less from him. Rudiger as well. The whole back three, to be honest, you put Asby or Christensen in there too. Reece James, Edouard Mendy. That's about it. Because I know we're going to have a full change in midfield. It'll be Kante and Kovacic, but neither of them have played a game in weeks. Kovacic has just come off the vid. So I know his lungs are going to be torched. You lot remember Kai Havertz against you lot last season when he came back from the vid. Podence ran rings around him for 90 minutes. And I'm worried it'll be the same thing for Kovacic. Kante hasn't played since he had the ankle sprain against Juventus. So I know he ain't going to be sharp either. So even though we wanted change in midfield, not confident.
And in terms of Wolves players, you mentioned Podence there, but is there anyone else in the Wolves team that worries you going into Sunday's game?
Jimenez is out, isn't he?
No, he's back. Now. He was suspended for Brighton. He's back for Sunday. So fresh.
Yeah, great. Can't be bothered. Neto's still out for you guys, though.
Yeah, Neto's injured, yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, because he was a danger man against us. He loves playing against us.
Yeah.
Adama Traore, even though there's always the question about his end product, he's still a scary player to deal with. And I wanted him over the summer for right wing back. I thought it would have been perfect for us. He seems like the sort of player that isn't going to carry a team, but he makes a good team better. And that's the sort of profile that I would have wanted. So I am still going to be worried about it. Also, going to be playing against Alonso for 90 minutes. If he don't cook him, I will be shocked. But Adama Traore, Raul Jimenez, Connor Cody as well. You guys are always solid defensively and very hard to break down. And it's going to be the same sort of game as Everton, isn't it? Fucking hell. Oh boy.
I know. I think it will be a very low-scoring game, and it could go 1 goal either way. But saying that, have you got a score prediction, Lewis, ahead of Sunday's game?
I'm going to back my team and say 1-0 Chelsea, only because I have to back my team. If I was a neutral, I'd be given a completely different scoreline.
No, I think that's a fair result. It'll be an interesting game on Sunday, definitely. But appreciate you jumping on the channel, Lewis. I'll leave you all these links in the description down below for his Twitter and his YouTube. Be sure to check him out. And thanks for jumping on, man. I'll speak to you again soon.
All right, take care.
Well, big thanks to Lewis. I'll make sure I leave a link to his socials and his YouTube channel in the description down below. Score prediction for me, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I think Chelsea obviously have got that quality, got that calibre, but at the moment are facing a little bit of a fragile point in their season. Of course, with a slightly depleted squad at the moment. So, fingers crossed, I think that'll be a really positive result for Wolves and give us a nice little bit of positivity going into Christmas anyway, our final game before Christmas. Guys, if I don't speak to you before or you don't watch any videos before then, do enjoy your Christmas, stay safe as well. Hopefully you get to spend plenty of time with your loved ones, and fingers crossed Wolves can grab the 3 points on Sunday against Chelsea. Until then though guys, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you all very, very soon.